In our last video, we talked a lot about the Color Computer 3 in honor of Tandy, and we got to play with some of the peripherals and different functions, but we really didn't have a chance to play any games. So I wanted to take some time today to play some of the games for the Color Computer 3. First up today, we have a game that uses the 128K, which came standard with the Color Computer 3. It's called the Microscopic Mission. In a young person's brain lies a life-threatening injury. His condition is far too serious to withstand any known treatment. Until now, until you and your colleagues are laser surgeons, a small elite corps of brilliant doctors and master tacticians. I'm not sure it knows who it's talking to. You command a most sophisticated vehicle, the laser probe. The probe, armed with a front view camera, drugs, radio, and laser, can travel inside the patient's body. If the probe reaches the brain in time, you can treat the injury and save a life. But first you have to get there. This already sounds stressful. I'm not gonna lie, they're putting someone's life in my hands, and I'm not sure where this is gonna go, but I'm anxious to see how it plays out. I find it kind of interesting that they actually have different instructions if you have 128K or 512. Although this game has exciting educational value, you should never attempt to treat yourself or anyone else by relying on the information in this game. Wait a minute, so you're telling me that I can't just shrink myself and go in someone's body? Come on, guys. All right, our patient's name is Tom Vale from Seattle. He's a bartender. The incident occurred Sunday evening. The patient was playing catcher during a neighborhood baseball game, was not wearing a face mask, and was struck on the head by a thrown baseball bat. Somebody got angry in that game. The patient sustained a concussion and head injuries. It's giving me the past medical history here. The diagnosis is an aneurysm near the middle cerebral artery. So we're supposed to inject a microscopic probe into the common iliac vein, pilot the probe to the middle cerebral artery, and eliminate the aneurysm using gel foam before the patient dies of a massive stroke. Sounds simple. Now we've got a cursor we can move around here. Herpes simplex. All right, red blood cell. Oh, guess that must be the laser functionality. So I can identify things with the second button, and then I can apparently fire this laser or whatever. Let's go to the brain. That's where the aneurysm is, right? Well, I know what a brain is. So this is giving me info on the different organs, but I don't know yet how to move. That clock ticking away is very nerve-wracking. I feel like this patient is definitely not going to make it. All right, it says when you begin your mission, you'll see a dark purplish-red tunnel in the window, the inside of the common iliac vein, where the probe is first injected. As you move through the vein, you'll see objects of different shapes and sizes tumbling toward you, carried along in the bloodstream. You'll spend most of your time looking at this window, both to maneuver the probe and to identify health problems. Oh no! Oops, I was trying to identify, not actually shooting. I mean, it's not really telling me anything useful about where to find the problem. It's going into cardiac arrest. It's not looking good. Oh God. Might as well go at full speed. The guy's gonna die. Laser misfire. I'm just shooting everything. Oh, this is terrible. Patient dead. Why am I still here? Your score started as 0. Your score changed by negative 2,400. Yes. So this has gone extremely well. Oh, please don't update the roster. I don't need my negative 2,400 recorded. It's still at 0. We're fine. Oh, it's a different incident. Okay, Mike Barnes here, Seattle, Washington. Incident occurred Thursday evening. The patient was riding a bicycle on a residential street and was struck by an oncoming car. The patient sustained multiple fractures and head injuries. Inject a microscopic probe into the common iliac vein. Pilot the probe to the anterior cerebral artery and eliminate the fragment using the laser before the patient dies of a massive stroke. Again, sounds very easy. All right, let's look at the map. So we're headed up, we're in the thigh. I assume we're gonna have to go up this vein kind of to the north and east. I don't even know how you measure directions in this thing. I don't actually know if I'm supposed to be actually identifying other cells as we go here, or if this is just traveling to get to the place we need to be. I'm assuming it's the traveling that's important right now. Uh-oh. We got some collisions going on here. Onward. We're in the vena cava now. I guess I can leave it on the map screen. That's actually kind of helpful. Okay, so we're moving up, moving on up. All right, we're heading into the heart. And it said in the book that you have to use a defibrillator to stop the heart when you pass through it. Defibrillator. All right, moving through the heart. I assume it'll start again on its own. I hope anyway. Deviating from course. I'm supposed to be going down? Not sure which direction I'm supposed to be going here. All right, I'm in the right atrium now. On the plus side, it only took me 6 minutes to kill this patient, so I'm very efficient. I mean, my score only went down by 1,000. It's not terrible for killing someone. Yeah, this game is very hard. I'm impressed with it. I'm impressed with the level of depth. There's a ton of stuff here. There's information on all the conditions. The colors look great. The sound is good. It's very stressful, but impressive game overall, and does show off the Color Computer 3's power, that's for sure. Next up, we've got a game by Epix. This one's called Rogue. Never the same game twice, that's quite a promise, but it's the reason this classic continues to be the most popular game on college mainframe computers. Rogue is so full of unpredictable monsters, ever-changing magic, and hidden dangers that it's never the same game twice. Enter the dungeons of doom, see for yourself, try to find your way to the Amulet of Yendor, but don't bother mapping the rooms, they'll be different the next time out. So this looks pretty interesting, and Epix of course has made some great titles over the years, so I'm anxious to give this a try and see how it looks on the Color Computer 3. Rogue. Alright, level 1, we got 0 gold, 5 armor, 12 hits. Welcome to the Dungeons of Doom. I hate it when games don't use the actual arrow keys. Oh, so you can use either the arrows or the letters, that's good. Using objects, rename, drop an object, eat food, wear armor, or zap a monster. You hit the bat. You have defeated the bat. Yay! You now have a scroll titled Yuya. Is this money? Ooh, I found 35 gold pieces, nice. And now have an emerald ring. Alright, great. So I have to assume that this game, if it was designed to be played on mainframe computers, that's why it's all text-based like this. But it really begs the question of why this game needs 128K to run on a Color Computer 3. Oh, that's kind of cool. So now we're just making other rooms as we go, or revealing them, I guess. Where am I going? You hit the kestrel. You have defeated the kestrel. Fantastic. The bat misses you? I'm right here. You missed the bat. I do miss the bat. The bat hit you. Oh, I've defeated the bat. Great. I now have an opal ring. Cool. The hobgoblin hit you. Now I hit the hobgoblin. I've defeated the hobgoblin. This game is awesome. All I have to do is run into people and it just defeats them. I now have a scroll titled Jolbu Roku Go Yodi? I don't know. You feel less confused now? Do I? I don't feel like that's accurate. Now I have 2 scrolls titled Yuya. Everyone needs more than 1 scroll named Yuya. Another 35 gold pieces. Okay, I can deal with that. Oh, another bat. I've defeated the bat. Yes. Now I'm back to where I started. But there's another 58 gold pieces in here. All I have to do is walk around these hallways and there's just money waiting for me. This is great. Again, I feel less confused. I don't feel like that's true. I've achieved the rank of apprentice. Fantastic. I feel like all I've done is moved around and now I've leveled up, so. Ice monster. I suddenly just got a flashback to the movie Big with that whole scene with the cave and the ice monster. That's what this feels like a little bit.
With luck, you will thaw in several million years. Great.
Honestly, this seems like it'd be a fun game, despite the fact that it's very simple. I'm guessing that it needs the memory and the power of the Color Computer 3 just because the level of complexity and the fact that it's generating things on the fly. It seems kind of fun. I need to learn more about it to understand what everything does in it. Not a bad little game for the Color Computer 3. Next up is another game that required 128K and the power of the Color Computer 3, the game of Mahjong, which for the actual Tandy was called Shanghai. This is their version of this game for the system, and it involves a lot of kind of intricate, detailed graphics with the different tiles and the Mahjong board. So I'm anxious to see what this looks like on the Color Computer 3 and also to see how it handles using the mouse, which is something we talked about in the last video. Shanghai is one of the few games that I have for the Color Computer 3 specifically that is a cartridge game, not a disc-based game, so I'm anxious to see how this loads. It should be a pretty quick load time. It looks great so far. And it's using the full real estate of the screen. Well, let's go ahead and get into playing here. Oh wow, this looks great. For a Color Computer 3 game, it looks really good on this RGB monitor. Everything's crisp and clear. Let's see if we can do some tile matching here. Tile is not, oh yeah. It's been too many years since I played Mahjong. You can only do the free tiles. So let's see what we've got. So you click one tile, you click another tile, and then you click a third time. You go ahead and pull those out of the mix. Yeah, I think the first time that I ever played Mahjong was actually on a Macintosh. It might have been an SE. My aunt at the time had a Macintosh SE in her house, and visiting one time, she had the Mahjong game on the Mac. And I remember being kind of enthralled with it, especially with that black and white monochrome display that they had on the Mac. It made it kind of fun just to see that level of detail and do all the tile matching. But I have to say that this version with the Color Computer, it looks as good as I remember it looking on the Macintosh. Everything's behaving in this game exactly as I would expect expect it to. The mouse movement's pretty good, and I'm not even using the high resolution interface. It actually has quite a bit of fine tracking. It's not as coarse as some of the other things we looked at when we were experimenting with the Color Computer 3 the other day. So I'm glad that this behaves the way that it does. Now, I don't know what these other menu items are for. Find. Oh, interesting. So it'll basically give you a hint. You can just have it play for you. The icons on the tiles look really good. The font even looks good. I like what they've done here with the lettering. You can kind of see that it all matches the style. What's this peak? Oh, okay, so you can actually forfeit the game and see everything that's there. The depth looks good, the 3D looks good. Now, I'm not gonna go ahead and play through this whole board, but just for fun, let's see what happens if you forfeit and have it show all the tiles. Guess it doesn't really show you that, does it? You can do tournament play or a challenge match. 10 seconds. That seems pretty aggressive. Oh God. What am I doing? The timer. My eyes don't work fast enough for a 10-second time limit. Pretty basic, but overall, I'm sure this took a lot of development work to make this all happen. I'd have to say it's a really solid game for the Color Computer 3. Next up in the Color Computer 3 lineup, I want to try a game that was designed to actually use the full 512K of memory. Ours does have that, so I want to see what it's capable of. This is King's Quest 3 to Err is Human, and this is a Roberta Williams Sierra Online game. From everything I've read, these games are excellent, and I have not played any of the King's Quest games myself, but I definitely want to check this out and see what it's like. I understand these games go pretty far in depth and may take a lot of time to play through, so we're just going to give a sample of it today to see what it looks like, what it sounds like, and see how it performs overall. Sierra welcomes you to the world of 3D adventuring. It said in the book to use the -R when I load the game so that it'll make sure to load in RGB mode, because I want to make sure I take advantage of the full graphics capabilities of this Color Computer 3. Not only is this game 5 discs, they all have 2 sides, so it's like the equivalent of 10 discs. King's Quest 3. Okay. Look at this guy. Written by Roberta Williams. I like how they've got this wizard showing the credits. That's pretty cool. Tandy version by Saul Ackerman. I skip past this. Go clean the kitchen. Let me see if I can move around first of all. Okay. Looks good. Great use of color. And what do we have here? Let's go this way. Is that a cat? Oh, the cat's only response is an arched back and a hiss. Well, the command system works at least. That's good. You have always admired this tapestry. Look in drawer. I assume open it. Nothing of interest in there. Nothing more than a cot, hard and cold and difficult to sleep on. Your pillow is small, flat, and made of rags. Seems like I've got the good life, honestly. Oh wow, that's cool. I love what they did with actually seeing your reflection in the mirror. It's a pretty neat little feature. My face is handsome and my body is strong. Thank you. Is this a window or a painting? Manannan's bedroom. See a regal bed and a carved closet. You compare this to your room. I already have, it's way better. Maybe it'll let me open these drawers. You were assigned a chore. The kitchen is dirty. When will you learn to obey? Just wanted to explore a little bit, dude. Put this in backwards. You can't do that now. Love it. Oh, you can call this number for a hint book. Bet that's still in service. No, that's actually somebody's phone number. Makes you wonder if that actually was Roberta Williams' personal phone. You must call her for the hint book. This is the kitchen. Other than your own bedchamber, this is the only place in the house that you feel you can call your own. The wizard rarely enters the kitchen. Eat bread. Once you've tasted it, you wouldn't want it. Well, thanks for letting me know. Take fruit. All right, I took the fruit. Great. Now I should have those things in my inventory. Yep. Bread, mutton, and fruit. Great. All right. Looking at the butter churn makes your muscles ache as you remember the long hours churning cream to make butter. You have no interest in it. Makes sense. Pretty cool moose on the wall. I like it. There's a lot of detail in this game. I guess that's the difference, seeing something that actually works with full 512K is just seeing the level of intricacy here. Also the amount of discs involved. I assume there's a lot to this story as you move around. The command system for this game is very intuitive for the most part. I mean, there's a few things that I put in that it doesn't recognize, but most of the basic commands it knows out of the box, which is pretty cool. And I guess that was one of the strengths of Sierra games in general. Seeing it on the Color Computer 3, this definitely looks next level compared to most things that I've seen on the Color Computer. And it's definitely taking advantage of the capabilities of the system. The graphics look great, even the little animations. You've got the candles burning in the chandelier. watching this character walk up and down the stairs, the reflection in the mirror. Little details like that are really cool and really make me appreciate the level of depth that went into probably making this game and making it compatible with the Color Computer 3. A couple of chickens strut about their chicken coop. As all chickens do, they peck, scratch, and cluck. The poor things, they will end up as the old wizard's dinner one day. There was a bag of chicken feed behind the fence beside the chicken coop. What if I just freed the chickens? It won't let you keep it open, okay. What if I just take a chicken? Ah. It's quite the path to get to that house. Movement's pretty good. The character looks good. Obviously it's a certain number of pixels, but the walking movement is great. The joystick functions as you would expect it to. It's not too clunky. Haven't gotten to experience too much of the sounds yet. I assume there's more as you go and progress throughout the game. Overall, I'd have to say this is a great game, and I'm really looking forward to actually playing through this at some point because it seems like it's a cool story. Most of the Sierra games are, and looks like there's some other King's Quest I'm gonna have to try at some point as well, but great game for the Color Computer 3. That's gonna do it for our exploration of the Color Computer 3. I'm glad we got to take the time today to go over some of the games because we didn't get to do that last time. Really impressed with the Color Computer 3 overall. As I mentioned before, I had the Color Computer 2 when I was a kid, and I always loved it. But seeing the capabilities shine on some of these games in the Color Computer 3 is really excellent. Big thank you to everyone who commented on the Tandy videos for Tandy so far. I know that a lot of you mentioned in our Tandy 1000 videos that we did not have games that featured the actual 16 colors and the 3-voice Tandy sound. Unfortunately, we were going to shoot some of those for this game video today, but we are having some issues with our Tandy 1000 and the 5¼ floppy drive. Most of the games that we have that utilize the increased capabilities use the 5¼ floppy, and we have not been able to get that to work with the Tandy 1000 that has the memory required. So we are working on that, and we're hoping in a future video we can cover those games that really showcase the 16 color and the 3-voice sound of the Tandy 1000. In the meantime, if you'd like to support what we're doing, if you like vintage computers or anything we're talking about here, please like and subscribe. It's going to help us a lot as we grow the museum. Also, we've got some great merch over at the merch store. The link is in the description. We've got t-shirts of all sorts of different varieties of vintage geek with your favorite brands. In the meantime, I'm Aaron, and this is Vintage Geek.